February 27th, 2014. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 41 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and of course, sitting next to me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So let's go straight to the news.
All right.
There was a gentleman, his name's Thomas Hewley, who recently was playing craps, and he won the fire bet. And we've talked about the fire bet many times on this show. It's interesting, this article, when I was reading about it, the author of the article, the reporter, was very good to explain that the fire bet pays, 999 to 1. Right, he got those specifics really good, right? 1,000 for 1, which is 999 to 1. And he was very good. But the writer of this article, when he was trying to describe the fire bet, he really messed it up. He said, a winning fire bet requires a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10 to be rolled by the shooter before crapping out. That is, rolling a 2, 3, 7, 11, or 12 and losing. Which, of course, is not right. Those who listen to the show, I'm sure, are familiar with the fire bet. What you have to do is you have to establish and make all 6 possible points, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
Before you 7 out.
So it's a single shooter has to make all of them, right? Anyway, and then he goes on to say the odds of rolling all 6 numbers before crapping out are 999 to 1. Well, that's not true either.
Right.
That's what they pay you.
Right. It's not even close to that.
No, it's more, it's like a little over 6,100 to 1 to do that. Anyway, getting back to this story, this guy, Thomas Hewley, was in a casino and he won the fire bet. He had $5 out there, so he's entitled to, $5,000, $4,995 plus his original bet.
Right.
So whenever you win a big money like that, casinos, basically, they need to kind of file taxes. They need to give you a W-2G.
Yeah, by law.
Yeah, and so they ask for your ID. So they asked for this guy's ID, and they found that he had signed up for the Indiana Voluntary Exclusion Program, right? That's where if you think you've got a problem with gambling, you voluntarily exclude yourself from casinos.
You're basically asking a casino to bar you.
Yeah, that's exactly
on your
right.
own will.
You're asking a casino to bar you, right?
Yeah.
And it turns out that he had filled out this form, right?
Right.
Now, when these forms get filled out, it's not like, if you have filled this out and you do walk into a casino, alarms go off and they kick you out. Right. I mean, they're not watching for people that have voluntarily barred themselves.
Right. I think the only way they're going to find something like that is if you use a player's card or maybe somebody recognizes you, but I mean, they're not, if they don't go out of their way to search for these people.
You could very easily go into the casino, right? So they saw that he had signed up for this program, so they refused to pay the fire bet, right? Now,
that's interesting because he's already gambled. Had he not won it, they would have kept his money.
Right. See, so that's kind of the argument is, well, yeah, if he'd lost, they would have kept the money.
Right.
And for the small bets, here and there that he won, he was able to keep his money, right?
Right.
So he's suing the casino, now the Horseshoe, and which is a Caesars property. He's suing to get this money. However, in the voluntary exclusion program, and I printed out a brochure right here too, right?
This is the Indiana voluntary
exclusion program, and it's you have to do it officially. You can't just fill it out and mail it in. I think you have to actually do it in front of an agent
He was in the Horseshoe in Cincinnati, Ohio.
All right, yeah. Hang on, there's more to come.
Okay. Now, all of a sudden, it occurred to me he's in Ohio. Why is this Indiana voluntary?
All right, so here's how it says. You're jumping the gun here. I was going to have a big reveal here at the end of this story, but here's so when you voluntarily exclude yourself, one of the things when it says on it very clearly is if it is discovered that a voluntary exclusion program participant has won a jackpot, which the fire bet could be considered a jackpot, right?
Sure,
when you hit all 6, 1,000 for one. The jackpot will be confiscated and submitted to the Indiana Gaming Commission in the form of a fine. Okay. So if that's all you'd heard of the story, it's like, okay, well, he's not going to get the fire bet, right? There's no, it's very clear in the law. But yeah, here's the issue. He was playing in a Cincinnati, Ohio casino, the Cincinnati, Ohio Horseshoe.
Right.
And when they ran his card through, they saw that he had filled out the form in Indiana, and it was on record with their sister property, the Horseshoe in Hammond, Indiana.
Okay, all right.
Right, so they saw that it was there. So,
but he hadn't filled anything out for the state of Ohio.
No, not at all. No, exactly. But they said, "Oh, since you voluntarily excluded yourself from Indiana, we're not going to pay you." So now, with that whole story, I'm thinking, of course they've got to pay him.
Yeah, he's going to win that easily.
Yeah,
all he has to say is, in a moment of weakness, after I had lost a lot in the casino in Indiana, I said, screw this. I signed up for the program, but in my head I was thinking, I'll play in other states. They're luckier.
That's right. They're luckier. Yeah. That's just good common sense.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, this guy has a problem, right? He's got a gambling problem.
Right.
If he's, barring himself.
And good for him that he did sign up for, in Indiana, which is probably where he lives, right?
Probably.
Right.
But yeah, he went to Cincinnati, which he probably shouldn't have done, right? If he's got this problem. But yeah, given all that, the fact that I don't know how in the world they could not end up giving this guy the money.
Yeah. Well, you know what, too? I mean, you might bar yourself from your local casino where you live because it's so convenient and you don't want to have the ability to go there every day after work or something. Right. But you might make a trip or two to Vegas a year.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You could say, well, yeah, I've saved up some money. I'm going to go to Vegas and blow this.
Right.
And that's fine. I just don't want to go every day after work because I won't be able to pay my bills.
Right.
And so maybe that's what he was thinking. So, God, they should pay him. I think
they'd
ridiculous.
have to. I don't know how this could now, neither one of us is a lawyer, but I mean, good grief. It's not even the same state. How can one state, obey the laws of another state, that they don't even have? I mean,
maybe Ohio and Indiana have some kind of little thing going on.
But see, what it comes down to is this is Caesar's fault, right? They're trying to get out of paying, having to pay, $5,000.
Oh my God! And he must have been the only one they paid the fire bet to, which isn't true. There was probably some other people on the table,
probably
who won. They probably paid them.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, shame on Caesars. This,
for one thing, it's bad PR.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
It's bad PR.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Here we're gamblers. To the general public, how would the general public react to this? Are they thinking, oh, well, he doesn't deserve to get paid, right? He's a problem gambler and,
the general public doesn't even read the article, right? I mean, just somebody who gambles probably reads it and thinks, oh my gosh, that's terrible. They should pay him.
So, hopefully we'll find out how this turns out. I don't know if it's going to even make the news.
So I wonder what would happen if he bought a lottery ticket. Like I go to Minnesota to my relatives, and every once in a while I buy a lottery ticket there. Or my mother-in-law sent me some lottery tickets from Minnesota for my birthday.
Right.
And now if I had barred myself in, say, California, what if I actually won a big payout in some lottery ticket and, a scratcher that paid $40,000. I went to collect it. They said, oh no, you're barred from gambling.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's not exactly the same because in this Indiana thing, it's not that it bars you from gambling, it bars you from casinos.
Just from that casino.
Well, from all casinos.
In that state.
Okay. When you do it in Indiana, you're saying I want to be barred from all casinos, right?
Oh, okay.
And so so the casinos actually have your name and they stop sending you like promotional stuff.
Right.
Free play and that kind of thing.
God, I'd like to give my name to like some credit card companies to stop sending me credit applications.
Well, you don't have to fill those out,
I know, but it comes constantly.
You should, maybe you could fill something out where you exclude yourself
bar me from credit cards.
Just credit. Yeah, exactly.
Well, one of my patients, well, actually, it was a girl who worked for me. Her mother's my patient. She had herself barred from Barona, a local casino here. Just Barona.
Okay.
Because she had a habit. She was older and she had a lot of free time, and she had a habit of going up there, and it was affecting her life. I mean, she was losing enough money in the slot machines, and so she asked Barona to bar her. Now, I know she's gone back there since then.
To Verona.
Verona, yeah. Because, I don't think she was somebody they would easily, she wasn't there day and night.
Right.
She was just there a few times a week, but she was losing enough that it was affecting her.
Right. And usually when a casino bars somebody, it's because they were cheating or they've got some kind of advantage play going. But if it's just somebody playing a slot machine, they're not going to bar, somebody who just plays slots. Right. Unless the person bars themselves. So, yeah.
Now that's interesting. Well, I hope the horseshoe comes to their senses and just pays the guy.
They should have done it right away. I mean, this is a terrible precedent to set. But
and what kind of court do you file that in? Is that a small claims thing?
$5,000. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's suing for the 5,000 or more. I don't know, but
yeah, he could be asking for some kind of mental damage that he incurred because he didn't get paid on his fire bet.
That's right.
I'll tell you what, if I ever win the fire bet, which, seems unlikely.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, no.
But if we do, God, I hope we get paid. I would be mentally damaged. I'm getting mentally damaged not winning it. Imagine if I didn't get paid when I won it.
We'll find out.
I think they'll pay us.
I think they will too. Yeah. They seem to like us. We want to talk about something real quick related to our app, and specifically people who have our app on iPhone and iOS devices, iPhone and iPad. For those using iOS, you first have to download an app called the Podcast Box. And once you have that downloaded, then within the Podcast Box app, you download our app. And I noticed, and some listeners noticed too, that as soon as you have the Podcast Box app downloaded and you open it up and you do a search within the Podcast Box app for You Can Bet on That, it comes up, no results found.
We were barred.
We were barred from the Podcast Box. It certainly wasn't voluntary.
No,
give you that. So I contacted our Libsyn, who put together the app for us, and told them about this. And they said, yes, we know that there's a problem in the Podcast Box app where if somebody searches for a podcast that has spaces in the name, the results won't come up. And I'm thinking, how many podcasts don't have spaces in their name?
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, if people are having problems, here what you do, and we'll just do this real quick. Open up the Podcast Box app. Down at the bottom, click on categories. And then from the category screen, select games and hobbies. And then just page over to the right. And I think our app is on like the fourth page. Under categories. I'm going through it here right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe the fifth page. Yeah, we're on the fifth page. So anyway, again, open up Podcast Box, click on categories, go to games and hobbies, and we're listed there. So, and supposedly they're going to be fixing the problem in the future. So that takes care of the housekeeping.
All right. No more bad stories like that. Let's get to the fun stuff.
All right. So
how would you like to find a $500 chip on the floor?
I'd love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. Now, I don't know if we've ever talked about this before, but you once found a $100 bill
in the trash,
sitting on the top of the trash.
We walked into a casino, 3 of us. We walked by a trash can. I just happened to be the one close to the trash can. I look over, $100 bill sitting on top of the trash.
Yeah.
Trash can was full to the top. And there's just a $100 bill sitting on.
Yeah, it wasn't like crinkled or like under
it's like
anything.
They just placed it there. Like, I'm looking around like, what the hell? Well, what could I do? I took it. I mean.
Yeah, you could go up to the cashier.
Hey, who lost 100?
That's right. Somebody lost this.
You tell me the serial number and it's yours. No, so it's just a $100 bill in the trash.
Well, the other night we're out at Harrah's Rincon, and we're playing craps, but a gentleman is just walking through the casino down one of the aisles,
right?
And he found a $500 chip. Casino chip
laying on the floor.
On the floor.
Yeah. Probably the same idiot who put the $100 in the trash.
Could be. Or maybe it's that angel, right?
Yeah,
he meant it for you.
Yeah,
he put it down there and you didn't find it.
I was sitting there playing craps.
That's right. Well, if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to listen to our bonus audio on our app where we talk about the angel that Mike may have run into. Anyway, so this guy found the $500 chip and he picked it up and walked over to the pit by us and said, hey, I found this on the floor.
And gave it to him, yeah. Turned it in.
And, the pit looked at us and said, wow, look at this, some honest people here. And I suspect then that the pit.
Well, I saw him get on the phone. So I think they were probably calling to look at the camera because they have cameras everywhere.
Sure.
They were probably looking to see like, well, who dropped that? Right. And, maybe they recognize him or they can find him somewhere else in the casino.
Sure. And
I'm hoping that's what they were doing.
Yeah. And if somebody.
He's calling his wife. I got $500 here.
But probably, it might have been as easy as, somebody went up to the cashier and it's like, oh my gosh, I had another $500 chip here. Where is it?
Right.
It was me that actually went up and said that once I found out that the guy had found a $500.
Excuse me, clock me up for a second. You run over there.
You run over there. So we didn't find out exactly what happened. But yeah, they were on the phone, it looked like. And, good for this guy. So it got you and me thinking about
what would we do?
What would we do? And listeners, what would you do if you found a $500 chip in the middle of the casino floor?
Yeah, nobody around there.
Nobody around,
I was talking to my wife when we got home, and a couple of years ago, we were at a movie, and we were going up. There was nobody else in line. We went up to the window to buy our ticket, and there's a $20 bill laying on the ground. And so I picked it up. And what we did is we had a while till the movie started. We sat for about 20 minutes on a bench and we watched that window and we kept looking for somebody coming back, like looking, did I drop some money?
Yeah.
Nobody ever did. We kept it because, what are you going to do? You're going to tell the girl at the window, somebody lost a 20?
Right. Well, especially when it's actual cash like that. And it's only a 20.
Right.
It's not like you found a wad of $100 bills or something.
No.
Right?
If we had found any more than 20, we probably would have just turned it into the manager. But, I told her, I said, well, we give it to the manager. Nobody's going to collect. He's going to put 20 in his pocket.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, what the heck? But we waited about 20 minutes. So if you found that $500 chip, you could sit at a slot machine and watch that area and see if somebody came to collect it.
Yeah, sure.
I suppose, But then still, it's a lot of money, $500.
Yeah. It is different when it's a chip. Like it's a lot of money. It's a chip. Right. And, when you give it to the pit boss, it's not like he pockets it.
No.
Right. I mean, how's he going to cash $500? Right. He'd get in a lot of trouble for something like that.
He'd have to give it to somebody else.
Yeah. So, I'd like to think that we have the moral character that we would have done the same thing, turned
probably.
in the $500 chip. Yeah. Beyond the fact that the camera would see you actually picking it up.
Right. When the guy said he lost it, they see you and they know you because you go there all the time. Right. Oh, well, Mike has it over there. Yeah. So, you'd look pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, that comes down to the thing, every once in a while you get paid $5 extra or something, or there's something. Most of the time I mention it.
Sure.
I'm like, oh no, this is, and I'm sure you people don't.
Yeah.
But most of the time we mention it, and every once in a while you don't even catch it yourself.
Oh, you don't even know. So you think about it like, 5 or 6 rolls later, and then you're not even sure.
If maybe
there was a mistake or whatever.
There was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because people make mistakes, but they don't make a $500 chip mistake.
No. So anyway.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what people would do.
Yeah, let us know if anybody out there has be honest about, what you would really do.
I don't think there's a wrong answer.
I mean, obviously we know. Well, I think what you should do is what this guy did, right? It was $500. Who knows the person who had the chip, maybe that's the only chip that they had. And, I doubt it too. I agree. But how do you drop a $500 chip?
Well, when you've got 40 of them in your hand, you're trying to go to the window.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, maybe there was something, fishy going on. I mean, I don't know that, that's down on the floor like that. Anyway, let us know. Drop us a line. Let us know what you would do if you found a $500 chip on the casino floor, just right there on the carpet.
Yeah. And this was in the middle too. It was kind of an exposed area. What if you found it like in a corner somewhere,
or tucked
in the
away,
bathroom,
or under in the bathroom?
Yeah. What if you went into a stall to go to the bathroom and there was a $100 chip laying on the ground?
Yeah.
There's no camera in there, I hope.
No. Although, on the ground, I don't know if I'd pick that up. $100. I don't know if that's worth it for me.
Yeah, that might not be worth it.
Bottom of the 500,
bathroom. 500 might be worth
500
it.
I might pick up. 100 it's like
wrap it in toilet paper and take it home and sterilize it first.
All right, we want to talk about March Madness just a little bit because coming up this Monday is when registration begins for the $1 billion that Quicken Loans is offering to anybody who comes up with a perfect March Madness bracket. That's this Monday, March 3rd. So the registration runs from Monday, March 3rd through Wednesday, March 19th. And that Wednesday, March 19th, that's the day before, the 64-team tournament starts.
Well, there's only taking so many people. So.
And they're only taking 10 million entrants.
Yeah, so that'll probably sell out.
Yeah, I'm guessing you want to be there on that Monday, March 3rd, and sign up for it. And I don't know how much information you need to give out. It might be a lot. I don't know if Quicken Loans is going to.
Oh, well, they want some information. They want to send you some stuff,
right? So I'm hopefully you can opt out of getting spam email.
Yeah, they want you to send you credit card applications.
Yeah. So what they said is that the registration runs through the 3rd through the 19th, but anybody who registers before the 16th, which is when the teams are announced. Mm-hmm. Anybody who registers before then on March, it says all participants registering prior to the tournament selection process will receive their brackets the evening of Sunday, March 16th, when entrants can begin filling out their bracket. So
yeah, they pick the teams Sunday.
They pick the teams at
3
Sunday,
o'clock.
right.
3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
So if you are, it's Pacific Daylight Time.
Pacific Daylight.
I just want to make sure that nobody gets confused and actually
3 o'clock in San Diego.
So since the registration process goes through that Wednesday, that to me means you don't have to pick the play-in games.
Right.
Right. Because the playing games are on Tuesday and Wednesday. Right.
Sure.
So I'm sure then all you have to do is you don't have to
there
pick
won't
the
be
winners
anyone registering that late because I think that
I don't think so either.
It'll probably be the first day.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it seems to me that first day they're gonna max out on the.
I wish they'd leave it open to the whole world. Everyone gets one entry.
Yeah, I mean
that way, a Chinese person would win. Chances are.
Yeah, see, there are too. Then
there's too many of them.
Yeah, too many people. They probably lose the bet though. Anyway, the website you go to is quickenloansbracket.com. All one word. quickenloansbracket.com. You can actually go there now before this Monday and put in your email address, and they'll send you, like updates and, reminders and what have you. But it's this Monday, March 3rd that you actually sign up.
I guess everyone should do that. I mean, if you're interested in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to win. But like we said on a previous episode, even though nobody's going to win this $1 billion, the top 20 best brackets, most accurate brackets, they're each going to get $100,000.
Right.
So they are giving away some money.
You got to be a little wild with your picks, I think.
You got to pick some upsets somewhere. It's just, where do you do it? Right. So.
Yeah. It's luck. It really is.
A lot of it is, of course. Yeah.
Because, who can pick the upsets? All of them.
Yeah. Impossible. All right. We got an email from listener Bill who sent us 10 questions that he'd like us to answer.
Boy, I love answering questions.
Yeah, see, this is great. And one of our listeners is providing us content for this episode, right? So we don't have to scramble and, come up with a lot of different things to talk about.
The only thing is I don't like sharing my opinions about things a lot.
You don't? You're not very opinionated?
Yeah, I'm not very opinionated.
That's why I was a little reluctant to ask you to co-host this show, to be honest with you. Yeah.
So I'm obviously a little shy about that.
Yeah, so I don't know. You're getting better.
I'm working into it.
Yeah, you're getting better. All right, so let's go through the 10 questions that Bill sent us. Number 1, do you believe in dice control that is the subject of some books and seminars? We talked about this on a previous episode. Neither one of us believes in it.
No, it's horseshit.
Yeah, I agree. It's the kind of thing where some people swear by it, but, I need the experimental, the scientific proof that something's actually going on.
Right.
Not anecdotal information like, I consistently throw, 20 roll hands.
Especially coming from a gambler.
Yeah, right.
Because, it's the guy that every time you ask him, they've been at the casino, they won. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I won. I won 500. We had a guy we used to work for years ago. He's deceased now. So if people know us and they know who I'm talking about, it's not bad for me to say this.
Okay.
But he owned a company that put on casino parties.
Yeah, right.
For charities and things like that.
Yeah.
He supplied all the equipment and stuff, and he would supply the dealers and everything.
The dealers, yeah.
Yeah, and we did that when we were in college. We made extra money, and it was fun for us because we were around with craps. We dealt
craps and sometimes blackjack, sure.
Yeah, and we were around it, and we liked it, and it was just fun. We taught people the game, which we love to do.
Yeah.
But this guy, Lonnie, every time you would ask him, he played a lot of blackjack. He'd go out to the casinos and play blackjack, but he never lost.
Yeah, he never lost.
Never lost.
Yep. Amazing.
Never came back and said, oh, it was a rough night. I dropped a few. Nope. Won every single time.
Yep.
And that there's a lot of people like that. They'll tell you about the wins and then they'll be totally quiet when the loss comes.
Well, there are plenty of people who really believe that this is possible, this dice control. And, we're just skeptical because we just need the hard evidence. And nobody's ever produced hard evidence. They claim maybe they have, but, in casino conditions, and tables, and it's just...
Yeah, it might be one thing to do it at home. If I set up my craps table at home and we only rolled on that craps table...
Right, you did it from the same spot every time. There weren't chips out on the table.
Right, and I might be able to get some kind of rhythm where I could make the dice do something, but not in a casino. Yeah. Not in a casino.
No.
I mean, how can you even stand at the same spot every time?
I know, it's... Yeah.
We were talking about that the other night. We'd like to... We always like to go to a table where it's just us because it's fast and quick, and we don't need a full table to have fun.
No, not at all.
And but we can hardly ever find that.
Yeah, it's funny, and kind of get on a tangent here, but I know there's some people who don't like going up to an empty table.
No, they're terrified.
They it's like, it's bad luck or whatever. And we love it. The problem is, as soon as we go up to an empty table, it's no longer empty, and then everybody comes over, and suddenly it's crowded. So
it's crazy. It's a stupid thing about people. They're intimidated to go to an empty table. One person's there, they'll all flock to it.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. Question number 2: do you guys keep a list of your wins and losses per trip?
Well, you do.
I usually do. Yeah. You don't ever. I don't
ever. I did try. There was a few periods in my life where I did try for a while, and to be honest, it just depresses me.
Yeah, sure. It's,
so I look at it and it's like, you're happy when you can mark a win, but you're depressed when you mark a loss. So I just prefer not to.
Yeah.
In my mind, I can kind of give you a rough estimate how the year's gone, but I don't try and keep track of it. My dad keeps a very accurate track.
Does he?
Oh yeah. He writes down to the penny.
When we go on a trip, not just to the local casino, but I mean like to Vegas, I will often keep very detailed information about all the money that I've spent, gambling and otherwise, down to the penny.
Right.
So, it's like, we went into the gift shop and I bought a soda, and I'll write that down. And so at the end of it, I'll have this huge spreadsheet, with every single little expense. I can say, all right, I won for gambling, but I lost overall because I had to pay for the, this meal and that.
And my ledger system is, I know exactly how much was in my wallet when I left.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll count exactly how much and I'm like, okay, well, this trip cost me, $400.
That's a semi-accurate way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know if it went for tipping or for gambling or whatever. I just know I'm 400 less than I brought.
Tell them about that trip we came back from Vegas and you made a deposit at the bank. And the sum that you deposited, the exact sum. Do you remember this?
No.
You might not remember. I wrote this all down because I keep track of all our trips. There was one trip where we came home and Mike took all the money that he had left over from the trip and went to the bank and made a deposit. It was $7,777.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Do you remember that now?
I remember that now.
$7,777.
I didn't plan that. It's just the way it came out.
Suppose that's the way you told it to me.
Yeah, that's the way it was.
All right, okay.
That's the way it was.
Question number 3. Have you ever played in Reno or Lake Tahoe? If so, please review the hotel and gaming. Well, you recently went to Lake Tahoe. You went last year.
Yeah.
And in fact, you talked about it quite a bit in episode 24 of our show.
And I've been there a couple times before that.
Yeah.
And I've been to Reno, maybe 5 or 6 times.
But you haven't been to Reno for a while, have you?
Not since the 80s.
Yeah, see, I mean, so I wouldn't even, there's really nothing to say about it.
No, and I was in school then, and I went to get my doctorate up in San Francisco, and so we went up to Reno a lot. We did, I shouldn't tell this, but we did drug studies where they paid us $1,000 to inject us with something and then take blood every hour for 2 days. So we had to sleep overnight in the hospital like Friday night and Saturday night, and then we got out Sunday. And then the next weekend we went to Reno.
With the 1,000 that
with
you got.
With the 1,000 that we got.
That's nice. So yeah, Reno. It
explains a lot of my problems.
Reno, it's got to be the 80s for me too, and I was never there for very long. But you had a good trip at Lake Tahoe, didn't you?
Oh, Lake Tahoe was great.
You liked it.
We enjoyed it. Yeah, I liked Lake Tahoe. I went up there a couple times when I was in school as well. And God, we went on one trip and we didn't have a room. We stayed at some flea bag motel. And there were 2 beds, and there were 3 of us guys, and all 3 of us slept on the floor. The beds,
really?
Oh, the beds were so gross. It looked like they had never been made, and who knows what was in them. Yeah. So we all 3 just slept on the floor.
Oh, it's fine.
The floor was cleaner than the beds.
Being young, going to the casinos is fine. But anyway, yeah, if you want some more real detailed information about Mike's trip, go back to episode 24, because the whole episode is devoted to his trip to Lake Tahoe that he took with his family.
I would highly recommend Lake Tahoe. I mean, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Not just for the casinos.
Oh, it's great up there.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Question number 4. Did you guys ever stay up all night gambling in Vegas?
Wow. I can't ever remember doing that.
We did it all the time. All the time. Not so much anymore now.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh.
It's a little harder in your mid-50s.
When in our younger days, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I mean, that would be the norm.
Right. Oh, I remember.
The sun would come up.
I remember one trip that I think Paul and I and Doug Morgan maybe did, and we drove there and gambled and didn't go to bed and drove home.
Sure.
Stayed up for 30 hours and then drove home.
We did that at Laughlin. We did that at Laughlin. Years ago, we'd never been to Laughlin before, and we were actually out in El Centro working one of these casino parties. We were dealing, for one of these casino parties. We said, hey, we're going to be all the way out there at El Centro. Let's just hop on up to Laughlin.
Yeah, it's not that
close.
But we did it anyway.
But yeah, after the party, and it was night, we drove up there.
Yeah, it was like 11 o'clock when the party ended.
Played all day.
Played all night, all through the night.
And then drove back. We didn't sleep at all.
Right, didn't sleep at all.
Yeah. That was fun. You were driving home.
Yeah, oh God.
It's amazing we got home alive.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you do stay up all night, don't drive home. At least sleep a little before you drive home.
Stupid things. Yeah. All right. Number 5. Any high roller suites that you stayed in that were jaw-dropping?
Okay, the best suite I ever stayed in was at Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas.
Uh-huh. And I wasn't with you on this trip.
No, I was with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Her and I went, and I can't remember why. The casino, it must have been an off time of the year or something, but he said, oh, let me give you a suite. And he gave us a room. I mean, it had to be about 1,800 square feet.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was like the size of my house at the time.
Yeah.
And it had a dining room table that seated like 12.
Yeah.
So my friend Pam, we had been friends for years. She gets up and lays on, she said, just take my picture laying on the table. So she laid on this dining room table and I took her picture so she could show all of her friends how big the suite was. It had like 3 bedrooms in it, separate rooms. And it was very nice.
Yeah, I had some suites, but never anything.
We stayed in a nice one at Golden Nugget too. At downtown Vegas.
You did?
Yeah. Stayed at a real nice one at Golden Nugget, a nice suite.
Okay.
Those are the 2 best I think I've ever stayed
I've never stayed at anything incredible.
Yeah. I mean, we're not in the room that much. It's wasted.
No, I know, yeah.
It's wasted on me, really. Yeah. It really is wasted.
Well, here, that kind of goes into question number 6, all right? Would you rather win $900 after staying 3 nights in a very average casino off the strip, or lose $300 after 3 nights in a high-end casino like Aria or Caesars or Cosmo? So again, win $900, stay at an average place off strip, or lose $300 staying at a nice place like Aria, Caesars, or Cosmo.
I'd rather win $900.
Me too. I mean, this is a no-brainer for both of us.
Yeah, because we don't spend much time in the room
Not at all. We don't. I mean, it's the place to go sleep as long as it's clean.
Right. We've had trips where we've had 2 rooms in 2 different casinos.
Yeah.
So that if we need to go sleep in one, we could.
Yeah, exactly.
Whichever one's closest.
Yeah.
And then we we end up like not using one of them at all. Right?
Or, we have one that's just for bathroom purposes.
Yeah, right. Right. We had one that we used to go to the bathroom. We don't
foul up the one that we're actually sleeping in, right? Just one for bathroom purposes. And then the others where we actually sleep.
It was just easier to run up there and go to the bathroom than to go back to the room we were sleeping in.
So that's a no-brainer for us. We'd rather win the money. We're not in the room for it.
We don't care. You know what? Getting back to that question, what interests me more is the atmosphere in the casino.
Yes, definitely. Oh, yes. That's a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up because it doesn't matter how nice quote unquote, the casino is.
Right.
We've talked about this so many times. It's the crew. If we're playing craps,
right.
the crew is hugely important, and the players at the table,
and the players at the table, and the fact that we can get on a table easily,
yes,
that there's
absolutely.
open tables and stuff.
Yeah.
I was telling our host not too long ago, we love playing craps at Bellagio,
right?
Because their craps tables are very open.
Yep.
There's always a lot.
There's always room.
There's always room and everything. We've never had luck there.
And I will say this: the crews aren't that pleasant.
No, they can be surly.
But you're right; it's very easy to get on there.
Very easy to get on there. So we've gone there in the past.
We
haven't
go
been
there
in
almost
a while.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bottom line is, just because a casino is nice, that doesn't mean that the atmosphere is going to be something that we're going to enjoy.
Yeah, that's for us. Now, a lot of other people would go the total opposite, right?
Sure, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Well, and plus, there are plenty of people who, we've talked about this before. When you and I go to Vegas, especially when it's just, the two of us together, it's gamble, 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 right? Everything else is just secondary. We're trying to get through all those other things like eating and sleeping as quickly as we can
right.
so we can get back to the table. So, and of course not, that's not what everybody does when they go to Las Vegas. Some people,
right.
like my mom, actually wants to look around and,
and go shopping.
Look at the sights. All right. Question number 7. Did either one of you feel bad at a home game because a friend lost quite a bit or loses too often to you? And, I'm trying to think, for the most part, our home games, it's the same people.
Right.
And we all have our up and downs. I'm trying to think of, instances where maybe it was somebody who came once and just got, slaughtered.
Yeah.
Or what
I've been at a few games where I felt bad for somebody.
Yeah.
You feel kind of bad for them, but by the same token, they made their own bed.
They came to the poker game,
and they pulled money out of their pocket because you can leave anytime you want.
Right, exactly.
There was one instance where we were playing craps, actually.
Right, it was like a home craps game.
We used to have a home craps game where we'd take turns banking.
Right.
And we'd play craps, just, kind of like a poker game, but to change it up, let's play craps tonight.
Yeah.
And one of our buddies was banking, and usually the banker did all right.
Yeah, sure.
As usual. Yeah. And some people win, some people lose. Yeah. But the banker would usually be the one that would make a little money. So we took turns doing that. Well, he got hammered, particularly hammered one night.
When he was banking, just the hottest roll. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was bad. And we ended up having him pay us 10 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
Because it got out of hand.
It did kind of get out of hand. I know this was I think it was my idea.
Yeah.
I know you weren't too crazy about it because you had not done well that whole night playing the craps, right?
Right.
But no, I did. This was a case where I felt sorry for him because it was like we were talking about dollar amounts that, was going to hurt him to pay.
Right.
It wasn't our typical poker game night loss. we were talking about like thousands of dollars.
Right.
And it's like, how can he make that back? Do we let him
be the banker forever?
Yeah, be the bank. Or, do we up the stakes at our poker game so that he has a chance to win it back? Well, that he could lose more, right? So no, that was one.
They took 10 cents on the dollar.
We took 10 cents on the dollar from it at the end. Because I thought otherwise we may not get anything out of him.
Yeah. And looking back on that, we probably should have made him pay.
Oh yeah.
Looking back on that, probably should have made him pay. But no, I ended up even. So I wasn't.
You did
that,
okay.
Yeah, I ended up even. I wasn't that upset, but I didn't. It wasn't like I won a ton of money or anything.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think. No, it's certainly in our regular home game. I've never felt bad because we all lose. Nobody, for the most part, there's a certain range that people are going to expect to win or lose.
Right. And most people, and myself included, when I got to where, I've lost too much at the home game, I just leave.
Yeah, you just leave. Yeah, exactly.
I say, okay, guys, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Or you brought, because usually it's small amounts, $30, $40.
Right.
All of a sudden you've lost 200. It's like, okay, well, this isn't my night. I'm going to go home and go to bed.
Yeah. So I guess it comes down to, do you ever end up playing with a stranger in a home game or somebody that you've never met before, maybe a friend of a friend, and they lose a lot? I don't think I've ever really been in that situation.
Well, and if they did lose a lot, I'd probably feel bad for them. But then again, it's like, well,
they came to the game. They knew the stakes, right? They're grown-ups. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right. Exactly. So, Question number 8. Did either one of you ever take a trip to a casino by yourself, local or Vegas? And certainly local casinos.
Oh, we've both been locally a lot by ourselves.
Yeah. We just, zip up there quickly. Either maybe we have just some free play we need to play.
Yeah, prior to being married, it'd be like, I got nothing to do Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go up and play a little blackjack.
Yeah, or a little pie gow poker or something like that.
Right.
So I mean,
it's obviously more fun when you go with a buddy or you go with friends.
Yeah, but for local casinos, for sure. I mean, too many times to count we've been by ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, as far as Vegas goes, I don't think you've ever been to
Never
Vegas
been
by
myself.
Okay.
Never been.
I went twice by myself in the 90s when I was card counting. Now, I was using a very weak card counting system. It was basically just tens versus non-tens. Not a very powerful card counting system. But I got it down real good. I mean, I could count down, multiple decks or, I really got to the point where I knew the right count and, how to adjust my bet and that kind of thing. So 2 consecutive weekends. This was back when you could get like a junket, kind of a junket to Vegas from San Diego. Right. You'd pay like a travel agent. I don't know. It was like, $75 up front. And that would include airfare round trip. And then if you played for like 4 hours at the Four Queens, they'd refund your $75 plus like another $25.
Right.
Right. So you could actually make money on the deal. Boy, I miss those days when they had those junket. There's nothing like that anymore.
It's not even close.
But anyway, I went by myself and just counted cards. And, I won on one of the weekends and I lost on one of the others. Those are the only 2 times, but, it was successful. I mean, it was back in the days where, especially downtown, you could find single deck, 3-2. I remember playing at Fitzgerald's at a crowded table, super fast dealer. And I was counting better because it was so fast. I had to concentrate the whole time. Right.
It keeps your concentration going.
Right. Never got much heat. The only place I got any heat was at the Golden Gate. It was single deck, and I was only spreading from $5 to $50, right? And the count got real good in this single deck, and so I increased my bet to $50. The dealer saw it, and so she immediately started to shuffle. She was about to deal the hand, but when she saw me raise my bet, she shuffled. And of course, I left my bet out there. You don't want to call attention to yourself.
I remember this.
By reducing. So she dealt out the hand, dealt me blackjack.
That's great.
So that was nice.
That's great.
But anyway,
I'll tell you, a better question would be, what's the shortest amount of time you've made a trip to Vegas?
Oh, that is a good question. Would you like to answer that for both of us, Mike?
Well, let me put it this way. We were on the plane more time than we were actually in the city of Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh.
It was a Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
We were like, let's go to Vegas. And we looked and we couldn't get any real flights coming back.
Well, I think we had to be back that night or something was going on.
Something going on. So we flew to Vegas.
Yep.
Went and played at, where did we go? We went to
Tropicana and Excalibur. So basically the closest big casino you could get to from the airport. Yeah.
Played for a less time than it's a 45-minute flight.
Yep.
So we were in the air for 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back.
Yep.
And we were there in Vegas for about an hour.
Now, this was before there was any kind of craps like here in California or any casino that could bank gains.
Right.
Right. So you couldn't play real blackjack here or anything.
Couldn't go to a local casino.
And play, real casino games. So we were, that was so stupid.
It was a stupid thing. I'm going to chalk that up to youth. We were in our late 20s. We were going to chalk that up to youth. That was the stupidest thing ever.
God.
Of course, flights back then weren't that expensive.
No, see, that's the other thing too, right? They weren't nearly as expensive as they are now. But still.
What a day. What a day.
We got that story. All right, question number 9. Before you were married, did either one of you meet a girl at a casino? And I think what he's getting at is like met a girl that we hooked up with or, went on a date with or something.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of girls. We never actually met a girl, though, that...
Here's the thing, and my wife brings this up all the time because she witnessed this, okay? We would be at a table. It seemed like it was usually blackjack, but sometimes craps or whatever, and there'd be some young girl there, and Mike would start chatting her up and, maybe even making little bets for her or whatever, and, helping her out and what have you. And it's like, oh, Mike, yeah, great, making a move. And then, when we were done playing, Mike would say something like, well, my friend Mark and I have to go eat now. Nice meeting you. You You never made any kind of move. No. And these women were interested in you. They were, they were having a good time. Sure. And I was, like I said, I was there with my wife once, and there were other times when I was in a relationship, so I wasn't, like flirting with women, but there were a lot of times where you'd just be, all flirty and everything. And then, all right, nice to meet you. Got to go to bed.
I got my priorities straight. Okay. I was waiting for my wife.
Well, see, that's funny because neither of us met our wives in any kind of casino or gambling.
Thank God. Thank God. No, and you know what? We were never interested in women in Vegas per se because we like to gamble.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they were going to go all night and play craps with us, I had no interest in them, right? I mean, I could date women at home.
That's right. I mean, that's right. You have a finite amount of time that you're in Las Vegas.
Right. I mean, it's like eating, sleeping, and dating. I do that when I'm at home, right? When I'm in Vegas, it's playing craps.
You want to gamble. Yeah. I got you. All right. Last question, number 10. So Bill says, if I paid you $500 every week for you not to go to a casino, how long would you refrain? And he said, yes, you could say that you would never go again, right? It would be indefinite. So I'll let you answer first.
Not very long. $500 wouldn't be enough. When you initially, Mark jots notes down here. When I initially saw that, I thought it said $500,000. Oh. For that, I would. That would be indefinite.
$500,000 a week? Okay,
I'd probably be indefinitely. Okay. I could give up.
But 500 is not a...
500, a few weeks maybe.
Well, you get more than $500 in free play. If you went every day, like to a Caesars property, you probably get more than $500 a week.
Right. Yeah. So 500 wouldn't do it for me. Although, it's not, I'd like to tell you that it would, but it probably wouldn't.
Boy, for me, I don't know, $500 a week, that for me, I would probably stay away for some time. I can't say
You'd get an itch though.
Yeah.
The thing is though, it's not the money. I mean, a lot of times when I go through a period where I haven't played for, a month or something, or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, it's personal things. It's, family things.
Yeah.
It's like, we went on a trip and then it was someone's birthday and then we did this and we did that. And, that for me is more important than money.
Right.
I mean, I'd miss it for that.
Yeah. Just
for pure money, I don't know that I enjoy it too much.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. When I don't know, 500, I maybe a year.
You think you could go a year?
Yeah, because I'm not
going to give you 500 to test
this. He says here, for you not to go to a casino. So that means I can still have my home poker game.
Right.
I mean, there's other things that I can do, right?
So you could live vicariously through me.
Yeah, are you at the casino now, Mike?
Tell me all about
What's happening? Who's standing next to you? Yeah. So, 500 a week. I mean, that's tough. A year, 2 years? I don't know.
Yeah, you could probably do.
Well,
let's not try that. Well, unless he really is
this is too hypothetical. Yeah. All right. My head hurts. Anyway, Bill, thank you for, again, giving us all this good content. That was fun answering all those questions. That's going to do it for this episode. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the costs of hosting the show. And it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal. Also, be sure to download our app for your mobile device. And again, like we said, if you're an iOS user, you have to download the Podcast Box app, and you have to find our app within that. When you download our app, you'll get access to all our episodes, quick links to contact us via Twitter, Facebook, and email, and you'll get bonus audio. On the bonus audio for this episode, Mike talks about why he doesn't like people talking to him.
Well, not so much don't like people talking to me. I don't like people coming up to me that I don't know and like engaging me in conversation.
All right. So if you'd like to hear more of that, download our app and you can get that bonus audio. With our app, you'll also get TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. I update those listings every Wednesday using a program I wrote myself to search through all the raw American TV data. The bonus audio and the TV listings are only available on our app. To download it, go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and on the left-hand side of the page, click on the link that says how to download our app. We have a link for Android devices and another one for iPhones and iPads. Oh, man, we'd love to hear from you, especially new listeners. We're always, interested in how did you find the show? What are your interests when it comes to gambling? That kind
Actually,
of thing?
I'd like to know where they gamble and what their experiences are.
Oh, yeah.
If you're gambling in Indiana, for instance, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Or Washington State. Two places I may never go again, Indiana and Washington.
Yeah. And they've
kind of pissed me off the last few weeks.
And plus, podcasters will tell everyone this. I mean, feedback is so important to podcasters. So, man, drop us a line at our email address. You can bet on that at gmail.com. Or you can leave us a short voice message by going to our webpage and clicking on Send Us a Voice Message. That'll open up a dialogue where you can leave a message up to 90 seconds long using the microphone on your computer or mobile device. Also, follow us on Twitter at You Can Bet On That. We always tweet when we're in a casino or on our way to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/You Can Bet On That. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. Mike, take us home.
All right. Well, the only thing I have left to say is I should clarify, if you're coming up to me to talk to me and it's about gambling, sports, or, any of my family business, if you know that, I'm more than happy to talk to you. If you're just going to say dumb stuff to me.
Lecture you.
Yeah, or lecture me.
Unsolicited advice.
Yes, please leave.
Okay, very good. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Good night.